So Sangiovese, red wine from Italy. To me, it represents all of what is great about Italy. So let's talk about it. Sangiovese is responsible for Chianti. It's responsible for Brunello di Montalcino, responsible for Rosso di Montalcino wines. Even Vino Nobile di Montepulciano, Sangiovese based. In order to get or understand what the Sangiovese grape brings to the table, I think you need to taste a bunch of different wines. But what you always get is this consistent note of sour cherry. Sometimes there's some earthiness, sometimes there's some dustiness, and sometimes in some of the older wines, right, those sour cherries, the tart sour cherries will start drying out maybe and become more of a black cherry, more of a dried cherry, less sour, less tart. Now, I think I did a video on Chianti Classico, that particular region, very recently. I'm going to link that up at the end of the video on this side over here. In this video, I want to talk about Brunello di Montalcino because I haven't been focusing on these wines. Now, these are the biggest of the Sangiovese wines. I've got two Brunellos from the 2010 vintage that I bought a while ago. You can kind of see this one is quite dusty. As I was looking through my air quotes cellar, right? I figured that I'm looking at these two as being the next couple of wines I'm going to taste and do a cellar raid on. I probably won't taste them at the same time, but it might be fun to do that. When it comes to Brunello, I think Brunello di Montalcino wines are wines that need time. Even though some of the winemakers today are making wines that are a little more accessible in the youth, but for the most part, since these wines age in barrel for a few years and they age in bottle before they even release, I think it's 5 years before you even get a bottle of Brunello onto the market, they still need more time. They're some of the most gorgeous wines in the world. They are, even though I haven't been buying a lot of them lately because I'm just not buying a lot of wines that are, over $80, and most Brunello wines are well over $80. I think they're wines that need to be, they should be explored. Brunellos can be a really, really good alternative to Cabernet Sauvignon from a steakhouse perspective. I always call Chianti Classico sort of my secret weapon at a steakhouse, and that is still true. And you can get Chianti Classico wines in those settings for a song, right? Less than $100, fantastic bottle of wine. If you want to spend some money, if you're out with people, business dinner, and you want to impress, right? And you have, let's say, $240 in the wine budget for a bottle, rather than going and choosing some sort of bullshit Camus Cabernet, try a Brunello. It will be universally appreciated. I cursed. I'm sorry about that. That's all I got for this. I will see you tomorrow.